Hello everybody. The plight of the Gaza hostages is on everybody's mind. We pray for their safety and their early release. This channel is about books though, and so I'm not going to say any more about politics. Still, I've worked in enough places where taking hostages is something that happens regularly. Kidnapping is a real danger. So it's a subject that gets my attention aside from the present day news. Something is terrifying about the idea of going about your business and then you could be taken by somebody you don't know, held for ransom to gain a political advantage or to make a point. Most of you won't even have thought about it until perhaps you watched the innocent folk hauled away on October the 7th. That's why one of the books that I like to talk about is topical. George MacDonald Fraser wrote the Flashman papers. He pretended to be the editor of a discovered private diary of Sir Harry Flashman. The series is a wonderful trip through Victorian history. The last in the series is this one, Flashman on the March. Flash's adventures are based on a story about the rescue of British and other European hostages from the clutches of a king in Abyssinia. Not a country everybody's familiar with. Yes, it is a true story, as fantastic as that sounds. Well, Flashman, of course, is an invention, but the facts are true, so maybe there's a lesson in them too. Abyssinia was ruled by the Christian king Theodore. In 1862, he asked the British government to help in a war, ironically, against his Muslim neighbours. He was snubbed. He was a black African. He appealed to Queen Victoria and he was snubbed again. Enraged, he seized several European hostages, among them the British consul, Captain Charles Cameron. The British responded by sending an army, not to conquer the Abyssinians, but to free the hostages. Once the hostages were freed and Theodore punished, the force was to withdraw. There was never any intention of adding Abyssinia to the empire. Nobody wanted it. The invasion was a monumental undertaking. The troops came from India. In December 1867, the army, led by Sir Robert Napier, moved by ship from Mumbai. 13,000 soldiers were along with 40,000 other animals, including 44 elephants trained to pull the artillery. Landing on the coast at Zula, they crossed 400 miles of mountains to reach King Theodore's fortress at Magdala. It took them over 2 months. Reaching Magdala on the 10th of April 1868, they routed Theodore's army in just 90 minutes. More than 500 Abyssinians were killed, for only 18 killed on the side of the invading army. Inside the fortress, stormed by the Anglo-Indian army a few days later, the European hostages were found safe, although some of the other prisoners had been killed. As for King Theodore, he conveniently committed suicide, again ironically, with a pistol that had been sent to him by Queen Victoria, who sent him a letter saying, sorry, no help for you. So here you are. I have nothing very profound to say about this story. Of course, the war cost the British far more than Theodore had ever asked for in the first place. The British did leave as promised. And I suppose it does show an approach taken when spines were stronger and straighter than they are now, when the moral thinking was openly and disgracefully racist, to the clear cost of everyone, and when there were no intrusive news media to ask 1,000 questions and confuse everybody. On balance, I think we're better off now, don't you? But then again, you come back to October the 7th. There are various books about this little-known expedition. If you like your facts, laced with fiction, somewhat raunchy fiction, Flashy puts himself around a bit, read Fraser's book. Otherwise, these 3 books are pretty good. I'll put the details below in the description. That's it for today. Please pray for the hostages in Gaza, for their safe return, like the hostages all those many years ago in Abyssinia.